Hi, I'm Jane Wesman, your book marketing pro. So, feeling dazed and confused about how to self-publish a book? Well, I think I have some answers for you today with my guest, Mike Peterson. Hey, Mike, how are you today?
Hi, Jane. I'm doing so great. Thanks so much for having me on your show.
Well, let's tell people a little bit about you. You run Apex Consulting, and also you're the author of a fantastic new book called Leading in the Age of Digital Disruption. What is Leading in the Age of Digital Disruption all about?
It really answers the question, what do leaders need to do in this modern age of digital disruption, of constant change, of AI?
But there's something very special about your book. Leading in the Age of Digital Disruption is unique because it's divided into two parts. So I'm going to spill the beans here. The first part is a novel about a company with a new CEO, a tech company competing in a global marketplace in a tough situation. The
Mhm.
second part of the book is hands-on advice in which you give examples from the story of how to solve specific leadership problems. How did you come up with the idea for this book?
I wanted to really make this book experiential. So if someone's not necessarily a leadership expert, they don't love reading leadership books, it's a really exciting journey into Ethan Caldwell's experience of taking over as a new CEO at a really toxic organization. So it's a fun, lighthearted book to read that shows people what success really looks like. And then in the second half, we really dissect that journey of what went well, what didn't go well, and how people can specifically implement these philosophies into their own specific stories.
I think that the examples in the book are so right on for what's happening right now in business. Um, so the book's terrific. And what made you decide to self-publish the book? And then tell me a little bit about the process of trying to put all the pieces together.
As I went into the process of self-publishing, I realized that if I wanted it to be comparable to a Simon Sinek book or a Brene Brown book or a Patrick Lencioni book, I really needed to invest more heavily into the book. So, for example, I wrote the book on my own and purchased the software called Pro Writing Aid, thinking that I would be able to edit my own book. And boy, I was really wrong. And went through this process of looking for editors and was shocked at how much it would cost to really hire a professional to take a look at the book. But ultimately decided that it was going to be worth that money. Same thing with cover design. Started to design the cover myself and realized that I needed to invest in a cover designer. Started to do the publicity myself and started to realize that I needed an expert like yourself to help me publicize the book, as well as come up with the title, right? You know how much I was struggling with the title for months and months. And it wasn't really until I brought a professional in, aka you, to help me with this process that we really were able to bring out the potential of this book and make it be the best that it can be.
So you're talking about the title of the book. We did work together very diligently on creating the title Leading in the Age of Digital Disruption, which really captures what the book is about. And I've often said that your book title is your key marketing tool. It's so essential that people need to be able to understand what the book is about from the title. The other key marketing tool is the book cover. And I worked with you through a very interesting process where you used AI. You tried many different ways to come up with a book cover. And then, if I remember correctly, you hired not just one designer for the book cover, but it actually took you two or three till you found the right person. And I believe you were telling me you kept going for the least expensive option. Until you realized that that just wasn't going to work. I guess what you're taken from this is the least expensive option ends up being more expensive because you keep having to nix so many different people's ideas.
It started with my own Photoshop license, and then I hired a really inexpensive person overseas on Fiverr, and then went a little bit more expensive on Fiverr, and then went to Upwork, and ultimately ended up hiring a cover designer for $2,000 on Reedsy. But it was absolutely worth every penny. The final result is what you pay for.
What would be your final words of advice to somebody who wishes to self-publish?
The overall best advice I can come up with is really to be intentional with what you want this book to accomplish for you. I think that it's an incredible amount of effort and an incredible amount of money, more money than you would initially hope to make a book really shine. And you need to have a purpose for this, right? And in the age that we live in, it's hard to get discovered amongst these millions and millions of self-published books that are coming out. So there needs to be a reason to justify all this effort. For me, for example, it's really to use as a calling card for my business, right? It's very in sync with the work that I do with Apex Consulting Partners, where if I was just publishing a book to get kind of an idea out there, I'm not sure the investment would return for me.
So, in this case, your book is a marketing tool for your business, on top of which it's a fantastic book, Mike. Congratulations. It's a pleasure talking to you today, and it's been a pleasure working with you on the marketing of the book.
Yeah, thanks so much, Jane. Thanks for having me.
My pleasure.